All right, if everyone will have a seat, we'll get started with the second part of our program today, which is designed to really give you all a chance to ask some questions and identify potential ways that you can get groups and organizations and individuals in your communities involved. And as you heard maybe earlier, my name is Ann Barth, and I am the Executive Director of Tech Connect West Virginia. And it is my pleasure today to introduce our moderator for the roundtable, Bobby Lewis, the State Director of USDA Rural Development. Now, Congressman Rahall spoke a little bit about Bobby earlier upstairs, but I will tell you what I know and what I think has informed his career over many years. A graduate of Welch High School and West Virginia University, Bobby began his career in public service as the mayor of Welch and then later served on the McDowell County Commission. I'm not going to tell you when he was the mayor of Welch, but I will say that year Willie Nelson topped the country charts with his enduring classic, On the Road Again. On the road. And Bobby has been on the road for Welch, for McDowell County, and for West Virginia ever since. In that time, he's gotten some mud on the tires as he's covered the state's country roads, and he's been unstoppable in his efforts to make West Virginia a better place to live, work, and play. Bobby has been the State Director of USDA Rural Development twice, first appointed by President Bill Clinton in 1993 and again by President Obama in 2009. In between, he served as Director of Community Development for the state of West Virginia. We still need you now, Bobby. Please join me in welcoming Bobby Lewis.
Thank you, Ann. I'm really delighted to be here today. Coming back to southern West Virginia. My roots are in McDowell County, but I've traveled the whole area. There's so many good people, so many good communities, and there's no shortage of people that want to work together given the opportunity. So I'd like to start out by thanking Ann Barth with Tech Connect for arranging this community meeting, and Dr. Gregory Aloya, President of Concord College, for hosting this very important event. Thanks also go to Charlotte Weber and Congressman Rahall for their remarks earlier today. And with Congressman Rahall's mention, I would have to mention the fact that Senator Rockefeller and Senator Manchin have supported our funding and the funding of other agencies to where, you know, it's going to be minimal maybe on the program area. A lot of salary and expense line items probably get hurt worse, but they have supported us over and over again. They've stood up and fought for West Virginia. So I want to thank them for that. Let's give them a hand. I think Phil is still here. Is Kelly still here? She may have to go.
She had to leave.
Okay. All right. I would also like to thank our panelists for today's roundtable discussion. It shows a humongous partnership here. We have John Maher with Marshall University. We have Roy Rumpton, Dr. Roy Rampton with Concord. Tom Minich with Robert C. Byrd Institute. Ann Barth, as you've heard from, with Tech Connect West Virginia. Joe Browse with the Natural Capital Investment Fund. Lisa Sharp with USDA Rural Development, Mark Julian with the West Virginia Development Office, Steve Johnson with West Virginia Small Business Development Centers. I'm honored to be here today to take part in this information exchange as we talk about community and economic development in southern West Virginia. As you are aware, 10 counties in the 3rd Congressional District have been selected to participate in a new initiative sponsored by the U.S. Economic Development Administration, EDA, USDA through its Rural Development Division, and the Appalachian Regional Commission. Most people know it as ARC. Basically, 3 federal agencies came together to fund a new program to encourage regional development across the country. The fact that 3 federal agencies worked together to make this happen is amazing. It doesn't happen that often, and we have a chance. The project was sponsored by Marshall University, the Robert C. Byrd Institute, Concord University, the Natural Capital Investment Fund, Tech Connect, with help from the Development Office with Mark. There were only 2 applications, well, there were 2 applications approved in West Virginia, but there were only 13 selected in the whole country. So we did fairly well, and it's a great opportunity. And I think we need to give the sponsors a hand because they did the extra effort to get this money. The 10 counties in this new regional initiative are Fayette, McDowell, Mercer, Monroe, Raleigh, Summers, Logan, Mingo, Wayne, and Wyoming. In essence, this project will help create regional collaboration efforts between communities and interested and supportive groups and organizations. The communities in the Third District Accelerator will be able to enhance their ability to collaborate with other organizations at the local, state, and federal level to develop partnerships with new and existing regionally focused organizations. Removing barriers, crossing boundaries, leveraging resources, creating sustainable jobs, protecting the environment, and improving the quality of life in Southern West Virginia. Today, my opinion is that the pieces to the economic and community development puzzle are within our grasp. I also say that I think we should grab them and put this puzzle together. Thank you. Now, okay. All right, now, as my job as moderator that I kind of forgot I was supposed to do in about 2 seconds, but I sit down here with that intention, but I got carried away on the puzzle. So, work before play here. All right, so we're going to start. Okay, we'll start with John with Marshall University, and you've got 2, 3, how many minutes? 2 minutes. Give an overview of or whatever you want to say.
Thank you very much. I'm John Marr. I'm the Vice President for Research at Marshall University. And through the help that's been provided by EDA and ARC and USDA, we've been able to put together a very impressive collaborative, which is already having an impact on job formation and the acceleration of entrepreneurship. We have Tech Connect West Virginia, Natural Capital Investment Partners, Robert C. Byrd Institute, folks here at Concord University. And in that collaborative, we're looking to the skills that we have among us and the contacts and collaborators that we also have in our networks to bring the resources that innovators and small businesses need to advance their efforts for job creation. It's a very daunting effort, but through past efforts that we've been able to pilot, Concord and Marshall University and Tech Connect have been able to show with our RCBI that we have been able to have a positive impact. So through those past efforts on the university center that was sponsored by EDA, through some other collaborative efforts that we've gotten, such as Innovate West Virginia and Startup West Virginia, we established enough of a track record that we were able to establish that with the right funding levels, we would be able to have the impact. So we're really looking forward to this. Our role at Marshall University is to provide whatever help that we can to our partners and to the entrepreneurs and innovators in the network area. And we hope that we'll be talking to you very frequently about the successes and the wonderful results that we have through this effort. So thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. Go with Dr. Rantley.
Well, I think maybe speaking a little bit less about the collaborative and a little bit more about our mission, I want to illustrate a point. As word of this began to get out, I was contacted a couple of weeks ago by a person from, I believe, the Williamson area who was interested in starting a small tourism guide business. And I asked what kind of things that we could do for them. And I basically sent an email back saying that we were very in a position to help with business planning, marketing analysis. And the response I got was, well, that sounds very good, but I don't know what any of those things are. And I think that begins to illustrate a point about what the mission of this is. There's many opportunities out there that people don't understand how to capitalize on. I think that is why Concord and Marshall are good players in this, because our job is to educate people. And part of that education, you know, of course, the primary market of our education is our students who are here, but we serve the state. And so there are other people besides our students who need some education in this state, and that's a lot of what this mission is going to do, is to take some of that information about how to plan, how to organize, how to do your homework before you start a business, and take it out there to the people who could capitalize on that. And I'm very thrilled about the possibilities that we have in this program.
Thank you. Tom Minnick with the Robert C. Byrd Institute.
It's almost afternoon. I'm Tom Minnick. I do business development and special projects for RCBI. I have a great opportunity to work for Charlotte Weber, work closely with Ann and Marshall and Mr. Joy down at Bobby Lewis's area at Keystone just a couple weeks ago, community outreach. RCBI is trying to touch all 10 counties, southern West Virginia, to determine what the needs are in training. We do a tremendous amount of on-site training at your facility. Also, you can come to RCBI. We have 4 sites around the state of West Virginia. One in Charleston, South Charleston, the graduate school. One in Huntington, and Rocket Center up in the northern part of the state, and also up in Bridgeport. We have engineers. If you have a problem, you can come to RCBI. You can bring a napkin and get us a part made. We'll take that drawing, put it in a 3D model. You can see we have a display outside some of the parts of additive manufacturing we can make. Farm tractor. Your farm tractor's broke. It's 47 International. You can't find a part for it. But the whole idea is how do you make and create jobs, partnerships, get into the communities, find out what the education needs to be, skill sets. We do a lot in the quality initiatives for trying to assist companies to make a quality product. Also in the shared manufacturing, if you're a machine shop and you have a part you need to make, you don't have the right piece of equipment, instead of going out and investing $300,000, $500,000, you can lease our equipment for a day, a week, an hour. We'll assist you in the operation of it. We'll come to you. And I can't stress enough about the education part. We also have an MTP program, Machinist Technology Program. Not every child needs to go to school at a college or university. The vocational schools, to be able to do the hands-on, planting these cell phones through our nation for these kids. All they know is to sit around with an iPod and play. But if they'll get their hands dirty and change spark plugs in a lawnmower, they might want to become a machinist, and that's what we try to assist. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, next we have Ann Barth, and Ann, remember it's 2 minutes.
I will, I'll do that. Tech Connect's role in this grant is to work and try to build grantsmanship throughout the region. And to that end, we will be holding workshops in all 10 counties. I've already spoken with some of you who are kind of coming up next to scout possible locations and also to seek your help in making sure that the right people are in the room when we do the grant writing workshop. We know that we're in a new age in terms of funding coming down the road. The competition will be ever tighter, and it's really important that in order to build community and civic capacity, we up our grantsmanship skills in the state. So we will be visiting. We had our first one in Fayette County week before last with a good turnout. And I look forward to working with you all to bring those workshops into the region.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Joe Browse with the Natural Capital Investment Fund.
Thank you. It's an honor to be a part of this panel. And just to give the short commercial on the Natural Capital Investment Fund, we are a multi-state organization, a certified development financial institution by the Treasury with the mission of doing, for lack of a better term, sustainable and green businesses, although we have recently expanded our mission with some access to some Treasury funds in addition to a number of our economic development partners. Being in a multi-state organization has still been the case. We originated in West Virginia, and we have deployed most of our capital and leveraged a lot of dollars in the state of West Virginia for the purpose of doing that. We're interested in energy efficiency, local foods, ecotourism, etc. But increasingly, the focus of a lot of our investing and a lot of our lending is in the area of jobs, and I'm looking forward to talking more about this issue of education, because we've got scheduled capital. You can't demonstrate the ability to do this stuff, you can't get it, and that would be unsustainable on our part. So we have a very self-interested motive in participating with this, and I appreciate Ann and Charlotte and others inviting us in here. We want to deploy capital.
Thank you, Joe. Let's give Joe a hand. Next, we have Lisa Sharp with USDA Rural Development.
Well, good morning. It's great to be a part of this panel this morning and share a little bit of information with you about USDA Rural Development. You've heard some about our agency this morning, but I wanted to give you the quick version. And I know you're getting a lot of information today, so I'm going to leave you with a little cheat sheet at the end of our presentation today that you can take home with you. And depending on what project that you may be interested in, maybe it'll give you some more guidance. But to give you the quick overview, we are a federal agency headquartered in Morgantown, but we have field offices around the state. We focus our more than 40 programs across our rural housing service, rural utilities service, and rural business service. So we're active on a lot of fronts in the state, and we claim to be the only federal agency that can build a community from the ground up. So we're involved in a lot of different arenas. A couple things I did want to mention to you. We have, as I mentioned, single family and multifamily housing programs, loan and grant and loan guarantee programs, our community programs, which is rural utility service. We have water and waste funding that supports community water and waste projects in all 55 counties across the state. That's loan and grant funding. And then through our rural business service, we have loan guarantee and some grant funding as well that supports job creation and job retention in counties across the state as well. We can work in nearly every county in the state, certainly in southern West Virginia, because it is such a rural atmosphere. Our community facilities, which many of you all are aware of, is a program that's very unique. We can do work in a lot of different areas. Anything that's considered an essential community facility, and that takes into account hospitals, libraries, police and fire, so a lot of different arenas there, a little bit unique. So again, I'm going to leave you with a little reference sheet today if you're interested in picking that up. And also wanted to mention to you, if you want to leave me your card, I have an email database, and about on a weekly basis I send an email out that's a compilation of funding and technical assistance opportunities that are not only from our agency, but a lot of other resources as well. So if you want to leave me your card, I'll be glad to add you to my list. So thank you again.
Thanks, Lisa. Next, we have Mark Julian with the West Virginia Development Office.
Thanks, Bobby. 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
And only used one. Can I get the balance?
Yeah, you can have the balance. Yeah, I'll overrule Ann. And you
Mark Julian, I'm Director of Business and Industrial Development for the West Virginia Development Office. Let me just say it's a pleasure to be here this morning. Within my division, it entails all the domestic marketing of West Virginia and this country and Canada. Retention and expansion, John Mallett back here is one of my regional reps for this part of the state. The state job training funds, as well as all the economic and community development research, including the state data center, the governor's liaison for the census, all resides within my division. It is really exciting to be here today. I want to thank Tech Connect, the Robert C. Byrd Institute, and all the partners, because West Virginia has made substantial progress. We have a real opportunity in this country and in West Virginia, particularly in manufacturing, with the wage pressures in China, some regulatory reform, skills issues in China, believe it or not, but we have a lot of capital waiting to be spent in this country. So the fact that we're coming together and talking about this, I'm anxious to hear some of the questions, because what I find every day in marketing this state in the country, we have to deal with the non-image as opposed to a negative image. But once they get to know us, they love us. Post-recession, CEOs love communities and customers that are going to work collaboratively with them. So we've got an opportunity, but we've got to come together, because what I find around the state, we have a lot of great programs, but we're siloed. And part of our job, John and others, as we work around the state, to get people to talk and communicate and leverage our resources. And I know the term leverage is used a lot, but it's more important today than ever for communities and resources to do assessments and come together and cooperate. We've got a lot of great opportunity. We've had great success since '05. There's a lot of opportunity in the works right now, but the more communities can come together and leverage resources and work in a common direction, we're all going to be far better off.
Okay, last but not least, we have Steve Johnson with the Small Business Development Center.
Good morning, I'm Steve Johnson, West Virginia Small Business Development Centers. It's kind of been mentioned on already about the education piece. The Small Business Development Centers, we really cater to the entrepreneur and the entrepreneurial spirit. People that are starting businesses. Just like has been mentioned, you know, there's good ideas out there and there's help available, but if they don't have some business basic skills, they're going to have a hard time succeeding. And that's why we're there. We fill that gap. We have 12 centers around the state, but we serve all 55 counties. We all overlap that. I'm a business coach. That's what our titles are, and that's what we do. We try to coach new businesses who are thinking about starting up, or even existing businesses that are looking to expand. And I think that's where we'll really fit in, is kind of boots on the street type application for us, where we can go in with some general information. We can do business planning, marketing planning, HR, any particular area that a new business person that may not even be a business person needs some help with. That's where we're going to step in and step up and try to support them. We are also available for sustainable growth of companies. We want to be involved with a company from the very beginning and have a long-term relationship with them, so that when they're ready to grow, or they have some problems with cash flow, or they have a great opportunity to do something, we'll be a go-to person to say, you know, we need this type of help from you, and will you come and do that. Our centers, you're able to come to our centers and set up times. We have coaches that are available to do one-on-one coaching. We also do small group seminars, but we will also travel to you. We are very mobile, and we will meet people at their businesses, or if there's a group of people that want to meet at a location, we will actually go to them and bring information to them. So we do have a little booth out front if you're interested. I've got some more information on that, on how to contact us and how to get started getting some coaching services from us. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll let that last round of applause go for everybody, right?
Yeah.
We'll do it again. Well, I want to thank you all for coming today and helping us out in this endeavor. next we have a time period where we're going to ask you to ask us questions based on what you think of this project and even how it may affect your community, county, town, whatever. Now we can do that sort of while we eat, or we can do that now and then eat later. Does anyone want to eat later?
I do, because we won't be able to hear what's going on with the chatter and all of that, whatever. And
So
I'm sitting up front because my hearing isn't what it was 50 years ago.
okay,
Thank you.
does anybody object to taking some questions now? And if it looks like it's going to go for a long time, we'll break and eat and then come back. Is that okay with everybody?
Yep.
Okay. Before we get started, and of course we're going to have some questions from the live stream that's going on from people that couldn't attend. I just want to, will the local economic development authorities stand up? I think we have Christy, Janet, Steve, Judy. Now, two of those development authorities are already involved in a regional concept, and the ones that only have one county still work regionally. I know that they work outside of their areas, so I want to thank you all for coming. And also another important note is their regional planning and development councils. This project's going to be representative of at least 3 regional councils, maybe, yeah, 3. So will you all please stand up? Jeff, Region 4, thank you. All right, now, how do you want to go about the questions? Raise your hand.
Yeah, we'll start with some from the audience. And then
Okay.
We'll take some.
All right, we'll start with the audience. We'll open the floor for questions. Got the mic.
Okay.
And mic is on, so your question up front.
Okay, thank you. Mine is not so much a question as it is a comment. I am new. I just got back home less than a year ago, and I have DuBois Unnamed Museum. I am everything for it. I'm funding it, blah, blah, blah. And I believe it's to my advantage to get out wherever I can network and meet other people. Just a few minutes ago, I heard something that clicked in my mind as to how I may be able to use the services. Tourism. I'm in Mount Hope. Mount Hope is loaded with history. That's where they open it, blah, blah, blah. Oh yes, we want to get involved. Joe Browse said a word that caught my ear. I heard Steve Johnson. So I definitely will be at Lisa Sharp. So I thank you very much for this opportunity. As you said, they're out there. Sometimes you just need to hear something to open up your mind and go in a different direction. And that's what has happened for me. Thank you.
Questions from the audience?
Okay, do we have any from the live stream yet? Okay.
Stream?
I told you everybody was hungry.
Mr. Julian agreed with me.
And he's the same guy that told me he was starving to death. Okay, let's break for lunch and get our thoughts together and see if we can't come up with some questions.